How are we doing today? Today I want to do a comparison of the different filters that I've carried over the years. So I've carried out kind of a selection of filters, including a brand new one that I've never used before, and my buddy Brian's Katadyn BeFree, which I don't have a ton of experience with, but I'm hoping I know enough to be helpful. So let's dive in. Up first, we have the MSR Trail Shot. This is my least favorite of the filters we brought out with us today. I'm a sucker for a good gimmick, and this thing is about as gimmicky as they come. It's heavier than I want it to be, and it takes so much longer to filter than I want it to. So in ideal situations, you get the pre-filter down into the water, and you prime it. Then you're gonna grab your bottle, and you just gotta have to sit here and squeeze forever. It takes so much unnecessary effort, and it takes so long to fill up a liter bottle. And unless you find an absolutely pristine water source, this pre-filter gets clogged. And so you're cleaning this thing, once a liter, sometimes, maybe even more. Definitely not what I wanted it to be. And not something I'm ever gonna carry again. Kinda the hiking standard and the filter everybody knows about, of course, it's the Sawyer Squeeze. I carried this one for about 2 years, and I liked it, it was fine. Some of the things I don't like about this filter is you have to carry some kind of an accessory to be able to back flush it in the field. There's a coupler that you can screw onto the top and squirt clean water through, or there's a syringe that you can squirt clean water through. And I don't like having a bunch of extra crap that I have to carry because I'm notorious for losing things. The really nice thing about the Sawyer is its cross compatibility. You can screw it onto these Canuck Vecto bags. You can screw it onto the crinkly, gnarly, is always definitely gonna break bag that comes with the Sawyer, or directly onto your smart water bottle. That's a problem. Alright, well, this is frustrating and kind of embarrassing. I tested all these filters before I left my house because I didn't want to run into this exact problem. I wanted to be able to show the flow rate of all of these filters, and this was wetted just last night at the sink in my house. And for the life of me, I can't get any water through it. This is a problem both Brian and I had in the field on a Tower Peak trip. We were both carrying a Sawyer Squeeze, and both of them clogged. And we were stuck without filters for the rest of the trip in an area where filtering water is pretty important. It's one of the main reasons I stopped using the Sawyer Squeeze. I don't know if this is a common problem. If you've had a problem like this with yours, drop a mention in the comments. But I really wanted to be able to show you the flow rate, because when these things are new, the flow rate's actually pretty impressive, but I cannot get water through this filter today. The filter I've been carrying for probably the last 3 or 4 years is the Versa Flow by Hydroblu. There's a lot about this I like. It's super compact, it's super lightweight. It's field back flushable. It's just got the standard 28mm threading on both ends, no extra accessories, and it can be used as a gravity system. You put your dirty bag on top, and then you can connect like a smart water bottle or another Canuck bag on the bottom and hang it and forget it. Typically what I'll do is I'll get to camp, I'll fill up my water bag, hang it, and then I'll go set up my shelter and just not even think about it. There are some things about this filter I'm not a big fan of. The threading doesn't actually fit properly onto a smart water bottle. And so what will end up happening is you'll get a leak around the edge, or worst case scenario, the filter will actually get stuck on one of these. And then you have to cut the bottle apart and go through this huge, massive surgery to get your filter off of the now useless water bottle. So I do really wish that the Hydroblu would switch to like a standard threading similar to the Sawyer Squeeze. It's got a really, really good flow rate. It's a solid filter and it's cheap. It's only like 20 bucks, which is one of my favorite parts about it. It's the most inexpensive of all the filters I brought with me today. So the newest filter in my arsenal is the new Platypus QuickDraw. This one really intrigued me. It's a little bit lighter than the Sawyer Squeeze. It's a little bit lighter than the Hydroblu. The flow rate is ridiculously impressive. Like both of those filters, it's the hollow core, you know, same basic design, but this does have a proprietary threading that fits into the dirty bag that comes with it. The cool thing about this filter is inside that proprietary threaded part, there's a standard 28mm thread that can screw directly onto your smart water bottle. And you can just drink right from that. So you can use this, you know, to spill dirty water in your smart water bottle and just use this like a straw, or you can fill up your dirty bag and fill clean water into the smart water bottle. I like the versatility of this particular filter. To clean it, similar to like a Katadyn BeFree, you just shake the dirty bag and you get some of that flow rate back. The flow rate on this is wildly impressive. That proprietary threading just nests right down in there. It's O-ring protected so you don't get leaks around the edge. So all in all, this is a pretty cool filter, and it's probably the one I'm going to be carrying moving forward. And lastly, the Katadyn BeFree. This is a really popular filter right now. A lot of thru hikers are carrying this, and I can see why. It's got a great flow rate, super small, super compact, easy to maintain in the field. I don't have a ton of experience with this one, but I've seen my buddy Brian use it, and he hasn't really had any problems. One thing that's different about this is instead of the 28mm threading, it has a 32mm threading. You can get the Canuck Vecto with that size, but it also fits on the Hydropack collapsible canteens. It's got a really nice flow rate. I would put this and the Platypus basically in the same category for flow rate. Just really, really strong, super fast filtering. Ultimately, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these filters. Each one has its pluses and its minuses. Each one has its little quirks and just weird little things that you're gonna have to get used to. Of the 5 that I brought out here today, the Versa Flow is probably still my favorite just because I can use it as a gravity system. It does screw on to the Vetco bags. I do wish I could screw it onto the top of the smart water bottle and use it more like a straw. I think that's a huge oversight on Hydroblu's part. But other than that, it's almost the perfect filter. I think if I were to design a filter, I would have a standard 28mm threading on either end that would fit on a smart water bottle or anything else that you might have with you in the field. I would definitely make sure that it was back flushable in the field with no extra accessories and super lightweight. I'm excited to carry the Platypus QuickDraw with me for the next couple of trips and really get a solid test on that. And I'll check back in with you with a full review of that once I have a few miles on it. I hope you found some value in this video. Let me know what you're carrying for water filtration. Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation.